So I've just been to Randall and Oban for some good native oysters. I've always got to have them when the month has an R in them. So yeah, they basically have more minerals in them than the farmed oysters. Please excuse the view. I'm just going through Soho went to Randall and Oban, so I apologize for any inappropriate signs. And yeah, so I went to the ME support group in London, the one at John Lewis on Oxford Street. It's probably the easiest one to get to if you are, there's a load of ice there, okay. And basically, yeah, it's the easiest one to get to. For the average person, for me, it's helpful because I have appointments on Welbeck Street. And I'm often in Oxford. There's more ice, baby. Sorry for the pun, the cliche. Couldn't help myself. Had to be done. And yeah, it was great to speak to people who are, from Essex and just sort of I'm not specifically Essex, but people from just down south and their experiences with ME. What I do suggest for people with ME is, at least at the start, going to an ME support group. Some people may find it can be too negative and it's almost like a competition. I've not got this in flight mode, so this is probably going to get interrupted. Let's hope it doesn't. Because someone's expecting me back at Warwick Avenue. So yeah. And yeah, when you get a new job, you train up. And when you get ME, it's helpful to speak to people who have got experience with it. It just quickens it. You can learn through your own mistakes, your own experience when you start a new job, or you can listen to someone who's been on the job. Strangely enough, there was someone who was on the job who was ME, for like 50 years. So he was diagnosed in 1969. Bit of a hippie dude, went to India, went to Uganda, got malaria, had a blood transfusion. Long story short, he's certain, and I can understand his point of view for sure, that vaccines are the culprit. This is an old hippie dude, cool guy. He actually spent the first year. I have a lot of things going on, like spiritually. I don't officially really talk about this because it would freak a lot of people out, but I get a lot of coincidences in my life. Yeah, the guy spent his first 8 years in the town that I'm from, up north. Don't really need to mention that because the whole point of this is keeping incognito. It just makes it easy to be honest with you all. Yeah, so that's why I'm not bothered if there's not loads of subs and the rest of it. Part of it's for me, but more so it's to do with just getting the information out there and not being self-conscious. Because let's say you name yourself and then you're walking down the street. Oh, well, if he's ill, why is he walking? Not realizing that how much I had to rest earlier on in the day and so forth. So anyway, this guy was on about vaccines, definitely resonates with me. Cool hippie dude, kind of like some Morpheus guy, of the ME world. And anyway, yeah, so I spent the first 8 years from the town I'm from north, which was a bit bizarre because, there's quite a few people there. It's one of the reasons I went, just to see how people are dealing with it there, down here, sorry. And yeah, very productive. But like I say, you get a new job, you go through training. I suggest the same if you have ME, even though you feel like it might be negative and people say, no, I've had it for this many years and so forth. It is worth getting some wisdom from people who have gone through it. It just saves you a lot of time and hassle. My general policy for people who have ME, like interpersonal kind of sense, especially if they're younger, with regards to younger people, I try and give them space. I want them to have as normal life as possible and to be around the neurotypical people as much as possible, rather than, I wouldn't say I'm negative or dwell. Obviously this channel is focused on this, so it might sound like 100% of my life is, but like the news, you know, the news focuses on selling outrage. You know, 95% of the world is a beautiful, happy place, and most people get on and are happy. Whether it's the internet, we just see the snapshots of the extreme, you know, on the extreme on both sides, and then that gets blown up, and people, you know, I've noticed they often tend to, if somebody's on one side, they often seem, on one extreme, they often seem to see the extreme other, you know. Communists will see Nazis everywhere, Nazis will see communists everywhere, and so on. The saying I once heard and I love is, what's the best part of an Oreo cookie? It's the middle. And yeah, especially with ME, you know, it's easy to get caught on the extreme. And I mean, this old dude, this hippie dude was sort of really into, you know, the annoyed at the vaccine sort of companies, and I hear that 100%. But it's very important for us not to get bitter. But long story short, I definitely recommend ME support groups, at least for the start, to get that crucial information and useful information. Later on, obviously, yeah, you know, you may get to know some people and you don't need to keep going, but especially the first time when you feel alone and there's not many people, then I definitely suggest going. But yeah, like I say, personally, I encourage people with ME to just, you know, to be around understanding people. And yeah, that's just my point with regards to that. Yeah, I don't show when I'm sort of with, at the moments when I'm with people, because obviously I'm with them, like whether it's South Bank or wherever I am. I was in Covent Garden talking with a cardiac surgeon. I don't know if that's the name, but he was a cardiac surgeon, pacemakers, and I think I was having ceviche in this restaurant with him because he's a friend of my cousin's, long story, and this cardiac surgeon was talking about fats, you know, and I said, well, you know, I try and follow in general the keto style diet as proposed by Dr. Myhill, you know, even like including sashimi when I'm at the decent quality restaurants. And he says, yeah, fat's been overly demonized and it's the sugars and all the rest of it. So it was cool to have a cardiac surgeon agree with what I was arguing with doctors in 2013 in a hospital in Leeds, when I was saying, hang on, I feel better on fats, avocados, all the rest of it, rather than the crappy carb meals that they were feeding me. And I was losing weight there as well on their carb meals, and it was just a total disaster. If I started going on about my stays in hospital, I do not recommend anyone with ME to be an inpatient, you know, specifically for ME in the UK at this time. Far, far from it. If you just take one thing away from this, is do not, under any circumstances, be an inpatient for ME. So yeah, fats, overly demonized. If I'm not mistaken, it goes back to Ansel Keys and messing up with some studies, and basically carbs being pushed and fats demonized. Obviously, certain fake fats are bad, but I'm on about, yeah, natural fats, even from animals, if they're healthily raised animals. Yeah, so there's that. I bumped into, well, I didn't bump into, I was passing by Covent Garden at the time when I was with the cardiac surgeon. Like I said, I don't know if that's the technical term, but he's basically a heart surgeon. And I think it's Idira Virma, I don't know. It's so funny because you just see a lot of people in London. Lufa's wife, the BBC One show, Lufa, just like crossing the road and she's like next to me, and I'm like, that's Lufa's wife. And I'm often looking into health stuff, so I'm not focusing on TV shows, but funnily enough, while I've been down here, like I was just watching a few episodes of Lufa with my friend, and it's like, oh, that's Lufa's wife. She's standing right next to me in Covent Garden, ready to cross the road, and obviously I'm not going to like disturb her. She's just chilling, doing her own thing. But yeah, trying not to film self-conscious people at the bus stop. But yeah, if I don't record a video and I can't show my face, because it allows me to be a bit more, well, yeah, honest, rather than like, you know, people just don't understand. Oh, he's walking down the road, but again, I've rested a lot. But yeah, even and my cousins, there's just a lot going on. There's more distractions. Like up north, if you have a bit of energy on a Sunday night, yeah, maybe you can go to the cinema, drive to one, you know, near a big city or whatever. But in general, there's less to do. Whereas here, you know, there's always something going on. Even at my cousin's place, we're filming some film, a little mini film, you know, so my cousin actually got a parking ticket, you know, because he didn't see the sign that there would be the Panavision vans would be there. I won't mention the production, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And he's got an actor from some show, forgotten which one is it, Waterloo Road or something, living on his road. So that's just my cousin's road. And then where I'm usually staying at Warwick Avenue, you got Michael Palin just around the corner. Beautiful Victorian era pub is around the corner as well. I think the wedding date, they filmed some scenes there. I just enjoy films because I did like media studies with TV production at university. So even when I was well, I felt I could articulate myself better as essentially a director than, you know, using words. There are some things which words just don't convey, and images and music and human expression can do a lot more. I've just gone on randomly. But yeah, ME support groups, if you're new to ME, give them a go. If you've had it for a while, try and be around the healthy people. If not, obviously, yeah, then, you know, seek contact with ill people. I like to stay around the healthy people, but obviously if somebody has got ME, obviously I'm not going to turn them away, but I just try and encourage them to be with the neurotypical healthy people. There's probably other stuff on my mind, but that's it for now. Yeah, so I enjoy the ME support group in London, Oxford Street, John Lewis, they have it. You know, just do a search if you're ever in London. Yeah, bye for now. Obviously, I don't want to really watch these videos. You probably get like motion sickness, but I would not do these. Like, I could edit nice videos and do the rest of it, but I'll keep putting it off just due to my energy. So yeah, you're best off listening to these. Anyway, I'm just signing off from Oxford Circus. Gotta go. Bye.